If you were literate, perhaps you had access to the text and you could read the text. If you were illiterate, you could hear these traditions being circulated in oral form. This is how the normal person would receive this type of information. But Muhammad has to bear the heavy burden of these revelations with sweat and the ringing of a bell in these trance-like states to receive information that already existed. It's very strange. Further, we have to ask, what is the Quran? Is it the word of Allah? Or from the previous video on Merkavah mysticism, is it the word of the Mishnah, 2 Enoch, 3 Enoch, Testament of Solomon, Apocalypse of Abraham, the Book of Jubilees? From this video, is the Quran the word of the life of Adam and Eve, the Book of the Cave of Treasures, or the Gospel of Bartholomew? What exactly is the Quran? These are questions I would like Muslims to answer. I'll be looking for your answers in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
It's becoming more and more common for Christian apologists like what's his name, Islam Critiqued, or Colin, to use atheistic criticisms against the Quran, which can backfire against the Bible. Now, Islam Critiqued, the person you just saw in that clip, or Colin, whatever he goes by, is a Christian apologist. He is a Christian who studies Islam. His whole channel is called Islam Critiqued. So, he makes these, videos where he plagiarizes material off, other anti-Islamic websites, and then post these videos as his own. Now, the problem with this argument that the Quran copied, or the Prophet Muhammad, who they think authored the Quran, copied off these Jewish or Christian apocryphal sources, is it's a fallacy. It's called, like I said before, in before videos, it's called the genetic fallacy. The genetic fallacy is attacking the source of the claim instead of the claim itself. An example of the genetic fallacy would be like saying, my second grade teacher was evil. She said 2 plus 2 equals 4. Thus, 2 plus 2 cannot equal 4 because my second grade teacher is evil and I don't like her. So that's an example of the genetic fallacy. It's attacking the source of the claim instead of the claim itself. So basically, not only that, but this Islam Critique person is very inconsistent, because these arguments that the Quran plagiarized off Jewish and Christian apocryphal sources can backfire against the Bible, or more specifically, the New Testament. We read in various places in the New Testament where the New Testament itself plagiarized or copies or quotes from these Jewish apocryphal sources. Romans chapter 5 verse 12 to 21. Paul uses the idea of wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 verse 23 to 24. Wisdom of Solomon is not in the Old Testament canon that we have today. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9. Paul quotes from the Ascension of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 34, or the Elijah Apocalypse. Again, this is not found in the Old Testament we have today. Jude, chapter 14, refers to 1 Enoch, chapter 1, verse 19. Again, not in the Old Testament canon we have today. It's a Jewish, or it's a Old Testament apocryphal or pseudographical book. 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 4, and 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 6, shows quotations from 1 Enoch chapter 10 verse 4 and 1 Enoch chapter 83 verse 3 to 5. Again, 1 Enoch is not found in the Old Testament that we have today. It's in the Jewish or the Old Testament Apocrypha, not in the Old Testament canon we have today. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3 refers to the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 verse 27 to 26. James chapter 4 verse 5 appears to be quoting from something that we don't even have today, a Old Testament apocryphal source that we don't even know about. And there's many other examples. For example, the life of Adam and Eve, which he says the Quran quotes from, is actually the author of several authors of the New Testament quote from the life of Adam and Eve. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 6 quotes from the life of Adam and Eve, which focuses on angels worshiping the one who is in the image of God. Same, the Quran has that same exact story. James chapter 1 verse 7 quotes from the life of Adam and Eve, chapter 29 verse 2, and the Apocalypse of Moses, chapter 36 verse 6. Romans chapter 5 verse 12 to 21 quotes from the life of Adam and Eve, chapter 44, verse 1 to 5. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4 quotes from the life of Adam and Eve, chapter 44, verse 1 to 5. Uh, you know, Paul quotes from the life of Adam and Eve in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1 to 5, in the life of Adam and Eve chapter 9 verse 1, in Apocalypse of Moses chapter 17 verse 1. So we could see these are just one of these are just some of the very there's just some verses from the New Testament that quote from these Jewish or these Old Testament apocryphal sources. So, what the Christian apologetic defense of this is that that there could be truth in the one Enoch and the life of Adam and Eve and the wisdom of Solomon, and the authors of the New Testament would be Paul or whoever wrote Hebrews, etc., because the author of Hebrews is anonymous according to Christian scholars. They were quoting true stories or true sayings from these Old Testament apocryphal sources. Even Don Stewart, who was a Christian apologist, states this in one of his articles, where he discusses why Jude and 2 Peter quote from 1 Enoch, and he says there could be true stories or true sayings in there, and that the authors of the New Testament, or the author of 2 Peter and Jude, are quoting true or accurate statements found in those Jewish or those Old Testament apocryphal sources. So same logic applies with the Quran. When the Quran quotes from these pre-Islamic Old Testament apocryphal sources, there are true stories in these Old Testament apocryphal sources, and the Quran is confirming that there's true stories in those Old Testament apocryphal sources. Just like the New Testament quotes from those same exact Old Testament apocryphal sources to indicate that there's true stories or true sayings in them. Same thing with the Quran. The Quran is quoting from them because there are true stories and sayings found in those Old Testament apocryphal sources, just like the New Testament is doing. So basically, there's several books in the that both the Old Testament and New Testament quote from that aren't found in today's Old Testament or Old Testament canon. But since Colin is a Christian apologist, I just quoted some verses from the Old Testament, from the New Testament that quote from these Old Testament apocryphal or pseudegraphical works. So this is not a threat against the validity of the Quran, because if Colin is consistent, then it's also a threat to the validity of the New Testament, since the New Testament quotes from those same exact apocryphal sources. But as Christian apologists rightly say, that there are true stories and sayings in those sources. So the New Testament authors are confirming that there were true stories and sayings, and they were writing it down. Same thing with the Quran. The Quran is confirming that there are true stories found in these Old Testament apocryphal sources. These pre-Islamic Old Testament apocryphal sources, since some of those Old Testament apocryphal sources actually predate the Quran in Islam, or they came before the Quran in Islam. So the Quran is confirming that there are true stories in them. So this is not a threat to the validity of the Quran or the credibility of the Quran. The Bible quotes from these sources. If the Bible quotes from Old Testament apocryphal and pseudegraphical sources, then the Quran can do the same, because both these books, the Bible and the Quran, are confirming that there are true stories found in these sources. And it's a fallacious argument. It's called the genetic fallacy. So it seems like Colin needs to be more consistent, and he needs to take classes in logic and reasoning, because this is a very fallacious argument. Stay tuned for more videos coming up.